Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. You guys are rolling on in. Hello, guys. All right, y'all. We back at it again. Miyoko and I are back at it again for another awesome
One more
conversation.
time.
Yes, we're back at it again for another awesome conversation. So, as you guys are rolling on in, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. If you happen to be tuning in on the replay, do us a quick favor. Go ahead and type in hashtag replay. I'll put my phone on silent here so we're not getting all that buzzing. But we really appreciate each and every one of you for hopping on once again for another conversation. All right. So we have a really good topic to talk to y'all about tonight. Like really good, right, Miyoko?
A juicy topic.
Real juicy. real juicy. Okay. Real juicy. And this is something that may touch on some nerves, may hit home, but at the end of the day, it's all meant to help you, right? It's all meant to help you. Okay. So we're going to be talking about today why you're one post away from losing trust. Somebody type in trust in the chat for us real quick. From losing trust. You know, I find that a lot of people purchase, would you say like 90% of the reason, over 90% of the reason why people buy is that they trust you, right? They trust you.
I'd say about 90%.
Yeah, I mean, somebody could like you, but they may not trust you.
Right.
I like a lot of people, but I don't trust them.
Yeah, right? I think trust is really is an important part. It's an important dynamic. I mean, there's other things that play a part. Like, for example, trust is important, but most people trust people they know and they like.
Yes.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. I don't like it. I don't think there's anybody on earth that I trust that I don't like.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean? And that I don't know. So I think that goes hand in hand. So I think trust is the byproduct of knowing and liking somebody.
You know, trust can be, I'm just thinking of like a course on trust. I don't know. It just popped in my head because honestly, when we lose trust in the sales process, especially when it comes to emails, especially when it comes to personal branding, people no longer fool with you anymore. Right. They'll still follow you. They'll still like and comment on some of your stuff. They may even, may download a freebie here and there, but you sort of lose that momentum once you lost the trust. And that's so important. I'm so glad we're talking about this today. I don't know why. I feel like this is one of those lives that we probably got to put in the archives.
How to get people to trust you? How to gain trust?
Yes. That's important. I love that Diane said this. She says, "Hello, this is a timely message." And I sort of kind of know why she said that, because you could be an entrepreneur, a business owner, a brick and mortar, an influencer, a celebrity, or any of that, right? And if you may be very knowledgeable of what you do, but if people don't trust you to help them or trust you to get them to that next step, you're gonna lose.
You can forget it. You can forget it.
Yeah, so I'm so glad, Diane, that you're hopping on, because I know definitely this is a really, really good conversation for you and each and every one of you who are watching. So as you guys are coming on in the room, please make sure that you share this out, tag someone on here.
Yes, share. Everybody needs to be here.
Everybody needs to get. This is probably one of the best conversations that you're going to be a part of, because we want y'all to comment too and be a part of the conversation that you probably going to be a part of for this entire month. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have some 3 major points to share with you guys today. We want to kick off and start with, again, why you're one post away from losing trust. You consistently sound like everybody else. Everybody else. You don't have that needle in a haystack type of personality. You don't have that, how can I separate you from everybody else? Because I feel that when you are stepping outside of the norm or of how the standard way of people, how they market, I could always tell, and no shade to anybody, no shade, but I could always tell when there's a group of people, especially women, who are coached or mentored by one person, they all do the same thing. They may have different businesses, but they all show up the same way. They use the same type of lingo. It's almost like when you look at an army where they're all in the uniforms and stuff and they're marching together. That's how it is. It's nobody stands out. Right? Nobody stands out. So, I mean, what do you have to say to that?
I think most, it's how we were taught. It's how we were conditioned.
Right.
I'm the guru, do what I do, and this is going to point you to success. And then all of us, we end up doing the same things that they're doing, and we're not experiencing the level of success that they have. A lot of times that's because their journey has been different. They're not telling you everything they had to do to get there, but they're just not being truthful about where they're at altogether. So now you start sounding like for example, if I start looking at Leticia's content, I start sounding like Leticia. I'm not a mother. I don't have 5 children. I'm a parent. I have 1 child.
Yeah.
But I don't have 5 children. I don't have her everyday life is different. Her skill set and her gift is different.
Right.
So if I'm trying to sound like her in my content, that is going to completely turn my audience off because that's not what they're looking for from me. So you have to find out what your clientele or what your audience is looking for from you. What are they looking to hear from you that aligns with who they are and what they can relate to? And you can't do that sounding like everybody else. First of all, why do you want to sound like anybody else?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We live in an age now where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm all about me. I'm loving myself and I'm doing self-care and all this other stuff. So why are you trying to sound like everybody else?
Yes.
It's called self for a reason. You know what I mean? Self-development, self-improvement. It's about you. So if you are not in your content, yes, you're going to sound like everybody else. And if you sound like everybody else, now get this: if everybody is sounding like everybody else, you're all attracting the same types of people. Now notice I didn't say your people. You're attracting the same types
of people.
And then you wonder why nobody's looking at your content, nobody's DMs, nobody's calling you to book appointments. You're not selling any products,
right?
Because you are not sounding like you, and your audience isn't connecting to what you're putting out because you sound like everybody else.
We
talked about this before, maximize and power and unstoppable and all these buzzwords that everybody's using. People are tired of that.
They're tired.
Why can't you just say, I can help you make money by doing this, or I can help you reduce your stress by doing this? Not, I'm going to help you maximize your life by giving you an unstoppable amount of energy. Nobody talks like this in real life, people.
They don't. Not their everyday life.
If you are not, when you're doing your content, right? This is how you not sound like everybody else. Put your content in a way where it's still professional, but it should be like you were talking to your best friend. I had to put emphasis on professional because sometimes we got best friends. We talk all kind of things. Some of y'all talk all kind of ways that you can't put on a post. I'm saying it has to be that casual, that conversational.
Yep.
Because if you laughing, because if you don't, listen, we keep it real on here. So she's you know what
I'm listening.
I'm like, girl, I talk to my girlfriends, boy. Some stuff but that's what I'm saying. It's the comfortability, it's the comfort level.
Yes.
Your audience wants to feel like that best friend vibe. And you cannot do that sounding like everybody else.
You can't. I think it's way more easier when you find your own authentic voice, which is just being yourself. Sure. When you're trying to be like somebody else. Okay, so I'm gonna use a scenario. If you are showing up live, or if you are on a, I don't know, discovery call with somebody, and you're uncomfortable while you're talking, ask yourself, are you trying to sound like everybody else? Are you following a script? Are you trying to make sure that you're using big words or whatever? That has a lot to do with that. If you're uncomfortable, like people say, oh, I'm nervous to be on stage. I'm nervous to go live. I feel like, and I'm just saying this from my personal experience, when I first got on stages and, doing lives to get my business going, I was uncomfortable because I wasn't acting like myself. Right, I wasn't trying to consistently, let's go on that word. We threw that word consistent because we could have easily said, you sound like everyone else. But Miyoko put in that word consistently. You understand? You can't show up Monday as one thing or one way or one personality, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're like, wait a minute, what happened? Right. And I'm going to say this because I'm not going to name no names either. You can't be one way online. I meet you in person. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? I've had people like that. And I'm sorry for yelling, But I'm telling you right now, it's not congruent. And that loses trust right there, because you're like, wait a minute, you're promoting this and you're promoting that. You know, this type of personality, this type of lifestyle when we come. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm talking about your genuine self, your authentic self, who you are presenting. There's a lot of people on here acting. They're playing a role. And every role is instead of themselves. Okay? And I'm telling you, you got to shift that. You got to consistently be you. People are going to become magnetically attracted to you when you are consistently being yourself.
Right.
Okay? Let's go to the comments here real quick. Hey, Tracy. She said, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey,
Tracy. Shoshana, what's up?
Yes. She said, authenticity is paramount and ongoing.
Oh,
it's an ongoing thing.
Diane, too. I forgot.
Yes. Huh?
I said, what's up to Diane, too? I forgot.
Oh, yes. Right. Uh-oh, Diane. Here we go. Transparent moment. She said, I'm guilty about being inconsistent. Yes.
We all have our moments.
Yes, you're right. We all have our moments. But now that you know better, what do you have to do now? I'm going to let you finish that sentence, Diane. All right. So let's move on to the next point. Which is, I forgot we threw this in. So how many of y'all are AI addicts? Did I spell that right?
Yeah, I'm laughing because everybody is on this huge AI, artificial intelligence kick.
Yes.
Whether it be ChatGPT and all these other things, and they have no idea how to use them.
Nope, no idea.
You know, we had this conversation offline, so I'm actually glad this is one of them. I forgot we actually stuck this here, but I'm gonna let you start first with this one.
Yes, you know, you don't want to become so dependent upon, you know, it's a tool. Okay, let me just say that. It is a tool. It's a good tool. I'm not bashing or anything like that, because I use it, Miyoko uses it, and what have you. But if you go and look at our copy, if you go look at our emails, it's still us. You know, it's still, you know, the difference from me versus somebody else and Miyoko versus somebody else. It's still us. And you mentioned a good point, Miyoko, about people not knowing what prompts to put in. So when we look at like ChatGPT as a whole, and you're not knowing what to put in, and you're not really focusing on being authentic to you, it's going to give you the generic copy that gets to millions. Because I don't know how, I forgot, I should have checked it today, how many users of ChatGPT. I think it's over 1 million now. But yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot of people. They skyrocketed like overnight. I don't know if to Google it.
It's way over 1 million. Don't quote me. You guys can do your own research, but I think almost 1 billion people are using ChatGPT.
Yeah, hands down.
I think it's a lot of people. I do want to comment.
Go ahead.
AI, artificial intelligence, primarily ChatGPT, right? Or any of them. They're only going to be as good as the information you give them.
That's right.
And this is where people mess up. They'll put ChatGPT, write me a LinkedIn or a Facebook post about how life insurance is important,
right?
And how it's important for you to get it, and I'm passionate about it because blah 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 blah. And it'll go in there and it'll start writing all these generic things.
Right.
I can tell when somebody uses artificial intelligence because there are certain ways it's formatted. There's certain emojis that it uses. I just know because I've been using it for a very long time. Your audience knows. Also, too, a lot of these social media platforms flag you for using it if you're not utilizing it correctly. And that's something that I really want to point out. So if you are just copying and pasting, your content may actually get flagged too. So there's people out here like me. There's a lot of people out there like me that can spot artificial intelligence, ChatGPT a mile away. Do I use it? Absolutely. Have I programmed it? Absolutely. Do I edit it sometimes to make it sound a little bit more like my voice? Sure. It's a good tool, but don't allow it to replace your voice because it can't. No matter what you feed into it, it can't replace your voice. There may be something else you want to add to the post or things like that. So, but don't get so addicted to it to the point where now you're relying on it to be creative. Now you're relying on it to be creative, or you're relying on it to be you. It's never going to be you. And it is clearly seen in your content.
Right. I was actually listening to this Jewish rabbi one time, and he said, you know, sometimes too much of a good thing ain't good. Right. And I'm not Jewish, by the way. I like to listen to that content, but
maybe you should do some prompts. Maybe we should offer some prompts or
Offer
something like
some
that at some point.
prompts.
You know.
I will let you run with that. Go ahead.
For a decent investment.
Yes. I mean, y'all let us know in the chat. Type in me if you're like, yeah, you would love some prompts. So that way, yes, you could use AI as a tool, but you're still finding your voice. You're still putting in your voice so it can sound like uniquely yourself. So you're not getting flagged. People are not looking at you and be like, wait a minute, this looks like such and such. But this is what such and such says. It's all the same thing, right? So let it type in me if that's something.
Maybe we should do that. No, maybe we should do that during the tour. Maybe we should break out some ChatGPT, some AI prompts for them.
I think that's going to be
really
great.
good stuff that they don't see online, like real stuff that I've designed that'll really help them not only just have their own original voice, but when it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to their whole personal brand. That's actually a good idea. You ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think. I think that's actually an excellent idea. Because again, we know that you guys are going to use it. We know it. We're going to use it. It's the way the world is going.
We're here.
It's actually replacing Google. We're here. It's here. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So you got to learn how to maximize it. You got to learn how to use it. It's even going into the workforce. My kids are learning it. So it's not going. When they teach it to the youth, it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Hands down. It's not going nowhere.
Yep.
Okay. So definitely, guys, let us know, and we could throw that into our content for the tour. And speaking of the tour, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet,
get your ticket.
How many of y'all got your ticket? Type in one in the chat. Type in one in the chat if those of you got your ticket. Go ahead, Miyoko.
For those that haven't purchased a ticket yet, you can lock in your spot now. You can lock in your spot now. Even with the deposit, you can lock in your spot now. That's something that actually we're doing because we want as many people as possible to be there, because this information is definitely going to change how you do business. And it's going to help you grow not only a personal brand, I like to call it a signature personal brand, something that you can trace to. If I see any of your content, any of the things you do, I can say, you know what? That's Diane. That's Shoshana. I know who that is just by what I see here. You want a signature personal brand. You don't want just a personal brand. You want a signature personal brand, a brand where people are talking about you way after you left the room. All right. So I'm telling you, I encourage all of you can be there. We even have it now where you can lock in a spot and you can put down a deposit. So if you're interested, you can message me or message Leticia or message Treese, however you want to do it. But I'm telling you, you need to get your ticket. You do not want to miss this.
Yes, definitely go and grab your ticket. But also, I want you to really elaborate more, Miyoko, on signature, because you shared it with me a couple of weeks ago, and it literally blew my mind away. It really blew my mind away. And why it's so unique for you to have your own signature online. Can you just share that for like?
Well, the thing about it is everybody's talking about personal brand, and we said this before, but nobody's being personal. Mm-hmm. Like your signature, even when you're signing your name, right? If Steve Jobs, if Bill Gates signs his name to a check, signs his name to anything, it holds weight.
Yes, it does.
It holds weight. You know what I mean? If Michael Jordan signs his name to it, it holds weight. You want your name and your expertise to hold weight. So wherever you go, it's tailored to who you are, what you do, and what you represent. So it's a little bit a step further beyond personal branding. It's a higher level of personal branding. You want your own personal signature to be on the things you do and the value that you provide. Mm-hmm. So it's beyond a personal brand. And I like looking at it in the way of a signature because that's identifiable to you. Right. Nobody can write your signature. Nobody can forge you. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're creating here. We're creating signature personal brands.
Right. And just like in the court of law, if somebody was to forge your signature, it won't stand in the court of law. Same thing in business. Not. Nobody, when you come to this event, the event that we're doing, the tour, we're going to help you with that. So that when you show up online, nobody can you're uncopyable. It's like nobody can act like you be like, and then on top of that, you become a household name. Your signature, like what Miyoko said, Steve Jobs, his name alone carries weight, big weight, If right now your name,
he's not alive. He's not alive.
Right now, your name.
He's not alive. Stop right there. He's not alive.
Gone. Yes, yes.
He's not alive. And people still know who the man is.
Exactly. Exactly. That's true. That's very, very true. So shout out to those of you who already got your ticket. And just like Miyoko said, you can still put in a down payment to secure your spot. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so on. So the link is there on the screen. And let me go ahead and pull up some comments here. Yeah, do better. Yeah, if you know better, now do better. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want to miss you guys' comments. All right. So Shauna said, when the language and tone in your post doesn't match the live,
you've been discovered.
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. And you guys know you don't have to play a role, if you will. You just be yourself. You just be yourself. But if that's a struggle, we can help you with that, right? So let's go ahead and bring up our last point for today. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and sticking out and all that. We appreciate that. So the last point we want to share with you guys is you're not showing up the right way consistently. Right. You're not showing up the right way. Kudos that you're showing up, right? But you want results. Right? You just don't want to just show up like I'm here, and you turn off that computer and you're like, okay, nothing's going on. Right? So it's both consistency and showing up and showing up the right way, and consistency is very important. I can see you. You right. Go ahead. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
So this is for the ladies and the fellas. All right. So it's just like this. Say you're interested in a guy, right? He's attractive. He's cute. You've seen him a couple of times. All of a sudden, he starts showing up at your house. Now, you haven't been on any date with this guy. And she's laughing. You haven't, they're probably laughing right now. You haven't been on any date with this guy now, right? But you were attracted to him. Now he's showing up at your house. So you're like, how did he get my address? Like, how did you give this guy my information? Oh, I was just in the neighborhood and, blah, 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 blah. So you're like, how are you just in the neighborhood? How do you even know where I live? So this guy continues to show up. Every single day, time after time. So now you're like, okay, it was weird that you showed up for one. Now you're showing up consistently every single day in my neighborhood or to my house. You're a weirdo. You're a stalker. Next time I see you, I'm going to call the police because you could be some type of serial killer or something like that. So you went from cute and maybe he's okay to he's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
That's a very good example. I use that because, relationships, dating, that's always like a very good analogy. I use that because this is exactly how your ideal audience is viewing you.
That's right.
Like, you don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be too salesy or anything like that, because while they may have started to get to know you and like you a little bit, if you have the wrong approach, you're going to turn them off. So in that example, completely turned off. For the fellas, it's the same way. Maybe you saw a woman that she was attractive, right? Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, she's hiding in your bushes.
Oh my God.
Like, how did she get there?
Not the bushes.
Listen, true story. That actually happened.
I'm not even going to go there. Go ahead.
That actually happened. How did you know where I live? How do you know where I live? Now you went from attractive to me to like, okay, now you seem like a stalker.
Right.
Now your aggressive approach has really like given me a personal impression about you. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do away with. Because now I'm going to think about, okay, the attractive girl, but now you're the attractive girl that hid in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, and you're doing this every day. This is your routine. One aggressive thing after the next. So the moral of these stories is,
don't hide in the bushes.
You can show up every day, right? Don't hide in the bushes. You can show up consistently, but you got to show up the right way.
Right way.
There's a right way to show up. Don't just show up. In my examples, don't just show up in somebody else's bushes. Don't just show up at somebody else's house. And just because you're showing up expecting them to be receptive no, that's not how this works.
Right. It's a lot about intention. You may have good internal intentions when you show up online, but it's what intention that you're conveying to your audience. That's
Right.
what it's about.
Right. Don't
Miyoko
be
and
selfish.
I have both, just from us doing these lives together, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miyoko, we have been getting inbox messages from people want to learn more about what we do, wanting to partner,
Absolutely.
want to do
For
different
sure.
things. And it's not a chase, it's not us reaching out, it's the fact that we show up with intention. We think this out. We have meetings, we talk and things like that, because just to show up, I know a lot, he knows a lot. We can just, it literally just say, hey, let's turn on our phones and show up. But
Right.
taking a pause and saying, no, we want to show up consistently. We know we have the time, the energy, and all that, and the expertise to show up consistently, but we want to do this the right way because it's about intention. Now, I'm gonna say one more thing, a huge disclaimer. I know those many of you who are watching, I'm not going to say no names, you're a little bit of an overthinker. So when I say take a pause and think things through so that way you can show up the right way, that may be, you may take a month now because you're in the lab. You're just thinking, you're overthinking it over and over again, questioning yourself.
That's
Don't
procrastination.
do that. Just when you're showing up the right way with a quick, thought, setting things up, being authentically yourself, developing and showing your own voice and message. That's literally a 30-minute brain dump, right? And you just hit that send button, you hit that live button, you hit that post button, and you do it all the time. You do it consistently, but you're
Yeah.
doing it the right way. And
Yeah.
but let me say this too. Some of y'all don't know what the right way is. Type into in the chat if that's you. You don't know what the right way is. That's why you need help.
Good point. Good
Go
point.
ahead.
Good point. And listen, if you're thinking for a month, that's not thinking, that's procrastinating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just call that what it is. That ain't even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
not even planning.
Right.
That's just
Right.
procrastination.
Mm-hmm. That's just procrastination.
And
It is.
if it's taking that long, then obviously you need somebody to help you gain
Mm-hmm.
clarity on what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a long time.
Yeah, because having a coach, a mentor, coming to an event, definitely a high level event like the one Miyoko and I are doing together, is going to give you that. It's going to give you the framework you need, the blueprint, the
Right.
signature, all those things that are huge components online. It's huge. It's huge. I love that you love this, Diane. So Shauna said, those are the DMs we talked about last week. We talked about the bushes and it
The stalkers, yeah. The
Yes,
stalkers.
yes. I feel called out. Okay. A hit dog go holler, right? So I love that we're having this dialogue and this conversation. Y'all let us know in the chat. Type in one if you really enjoyed today's session. And it's really meant to help you guys, give you guys more clarity, and also help you to realign and rethink some things. I think that's really, really huge, right, Miyoko?
Absolutely. Listen. Get your ticket because this is just a small fraction.
Yeah.
We're going to be in your face in
Yes.
person.
Yes,
In
we
person.
are.
So
Yes.
you'll be able to ask us questions. We'll walk you step by step.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like one of those things where you're going to be seeing people on stage, taking a bunch of notes. You will take notes, but it's not like you're not going to be able to interact.
Right.
This is a completely different experience. We're talking about. This is not speaking on a stage and having positive energy and jumping up and down. No, we're training. This is still a training. This is still a mastermind, masterclass, whatever you want to call it. The objective is for you guys and girls to walk out with implementable strategies that you can implement right now. That's going to help you change your business. Not only that, improve yourself as a person too.
Absolutely.
That's why it's called your brand, your breakthrough. Yes, we focus on a signature brand, but the breakthrough is that working on some of the things internally is what's going to make your personal brand or your signature brand pop even more. Yeah. This is what we're talking about.
You said something that really hit home. Working on things internally. Like, you're not going to get that work online.
No,
I don't care how many summits, virtual summits you've been paying for, or virtual conferences, or virtual whatever. You're not going to get that type of breakthrough by watching somebody on a Zoom, right? Or somebody on a YouTube channel, right? You need to come in person.
Yes.
You have to come in person. We're going to be in Texas. We're going to be in New York. We're going to be in Georgia. We're going to be also in Maryland. You need to come in person. Okay. So that's why we have that lock in your spot. opportunity for you to go ahead and put in a down payment, so that way you could secure your spot, because you got to get this level of breakthrough that we're giving you. Miyoko and I collectively have over 25 years experience in this industry, right?
Oh yeah, you done downplayed that.
Yeah, I downplayed it. I'm not trying to be that old on here. I'm still young.
Compare your over 20 years. Compare your over 20 years for my over 20 years.
Yes.
Almost 50 years.
Oh God, no, I'm not. Yes, it is over 50 years.
We're talking about a lot of experience.
A lot of experience. And that's value in itself. That's value in itself. And I say that because out of everything that's going on in the world, since we came online, we were out there before there was an internet. There wasn't. I mean, it was
right.
Yeah. I mean, we was belly stuff. So having that type of training and experience, and on top of the online experience as well, it's just a lethal weapon. So we want y'all to not only come, but also come and walk and leave and go home a totally different way. Different mindset, different strategy, different blueprint. Go ahead, Miyoko.
I just want to add, I don't want you to think that this is just for online. No, this transfers offline.
That's right.
I have some clients that don't really have an online presence because that's not what they want, but their offline presence is incredible.
That part.
So now they're starting to build an online presence because they understand the importance of the automations and the systems, but that's not how they started. So I don't want somebody to think like, well, I want to build an online, or I have a little online, but why aren't you guys talking about presence offline? Oh, no. This is going to transfer online and offline. We are talking about a signature personal brand, period.
Yep.
We just know that online, it maximizes. No, kidding. I'm kidding. We know that online it will triple or double or quadruple the results and the money and all those things we're going to get, because online touches so many areas at one time. But make no mistake, this is going to help you, and it's going to translate to the offline, to the networking events, to the conversations you have with people in person.
Right.
How do I know? Because I'm doing it now.
Absolutely. And that's how you need to structure your business, Miyoko. And like you said a great point, because you got to transfer what you're doing offline. This platform can go away.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But how are you creating a lasting impression off of this platform? Correct. And that in itself is a business that we talked about this yesterday, that one day you can sell. You're not going to be like everybody else online talking about, I'm retiring. No, you can sell your business for millions and billions of dollars for the things that we're going to be teaching you at the event. That's what you want to create as well. So that's just one key component that I really want you guys to really think about and consider being a part of. Very, very much so important. Hey, LaShawn, LaShawn already got her ticket. Happy to see you on, love. So again, guys, make sure you go ahead. I put the link in the chat, bit.ly/YBYB tour, or lowercase. Go and get your ticket, or, secure your spot by putting in your down payment. I know we have the virtual option there, but let me tell you, some of y'all,
talk about it.
Get in a car, get on a plane. I like to come in person to events. I'm sorry. Y'all see me come here from New York to Bali twice. Okay, so I don't want to hear this, that, and the third. Like, oh God, I can't, get up and go because Maryland is 2 hours away and New York is 3 hours away. Baby, that's a tax write-off for one. Okay, and two, get in the room. Get in the room. Go ahead, Miyoko.
And you don't have the same level of access.
No.
What you don't understand is when that live stream stops, you're not there to ask any questions.
Nope.
You're not there talking to us face to face.
Yep.
You get none of that type of access. So I encourage you to get there in person. I'm trying to tell you, or you will miss something.
Yeah, I think, that needs to be just a requirement right now, because the fact that we're in April and our first leg of the tour is in August, that needs to be like, hey, that needs to be a requirement. You know what I'm saying? For you to say, hey, I need to get in the room. I just need to get there. I don't care if I'm on the West Coast. I need to get in the room and be a part of this experience, because it is definitely going to be a high level experience, which most of you guys definitely need. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hop off here. I appreciate all of you for joining us today. I know Miyoko does as well. We're going to be back tomorrow too, so definitely join us. But before you put that head on your pillow tonight, you better go over to the link and get your ticket.
No, after this is done.
Yeah, some of y'all come here every day.
Done. I'm not even going to tell you
no names. So we gonna be over here every day, and I didn't see no doop. I better see a doop after this. Okay. Then you secure your spot, right, Bianca?
Yep. It's been a pleasure as always, Leticia. I hope all of you gained some value from it. I hope to see all of you there.
Yes.
Because this is nothing compared to the in-person experience. I promise you that.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see y'all on tour.
All right.
Bye, y'all.